always so annoying when I go to start the video and I look up, I'm ready to start talking, and the clicker to start recording is nowhere to be found. But you know who is and what is to be found? That's you, that's me, that is us here together. Hello everyone, welcome on back to the channel. Thank you as always for being here. We are reacting to a full, complete album. Doing a full album listen today on this Long Song Saturday. I hope that you guys are here for it because today we are listening. Hold on, there should be a little bit of better light for you guys. We are listening to it's a little better. Bada Boom! We're going to do a full album listen, wrong way, of Pixies with the album Doolittle. This was released, hold on, I gotta get the information. Actually, I forgot to get the information up. Hold on, I should not have started this video yet. I don't have anything up about it. Let's see if I can find it actually really quick here. Pixies, Doolittle. The album was released, oh no, it's not there readily available. 1989. I do have something up here, it's just not exactly everything I'm looking for. However, that is what we are doing today, guys, and I invite you to stick around, stay with me for a little bit as we dive into the album. So, many years ago, we had listened to the first track off this album, which is Debaser. And if I remember correctly, I didn't care for it at the time. However, now, years later, through flames and fire, through arduous and avant-garde and progressive, I have progressed myself and grown to love and to enjoy some more types of music. So I wanted to come back here, and not just come back, I wanted to like full-fledged get back into it and listen to this album, which, you know, I've always heard so much about, and with this very interesting cover with this little monkey here, this halo up there. I'm curious to see what all the fuss is about and really just hearing for myself and kind of go from there. This specific album has been suggested to me by Chris Sheldon, The Garden Fix, Mark Clamp, Scott Andrews, Colin Charters, Jay Birdification, and Welcome Studios. So you guys, thank you so much for suggesting the album to me. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the lyrics, and we're going to just dive straight on into the music and listening to this, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy spending some time with me here. Of course, get it out the way. Press that like button, press that subscribe button if it's your first time. Don't make it your last time. Come on back tomorrow and the next day and the day after that even. Let's go ahead and start. I was trying to figure out, I feel like I'm missing something, but I don't believe that I am. So with Debaser, I'm probably not going to spend a ton of time talking about that one because we've already heard it. And looking at the track listing and just how short some of these are, let's let Debaser go into the next track, which is Tame. Let's start with those two, and then we'll just kind of pick and choose our way through there. Let's go ahead and start at the start line. I'll see you guys there at the finish line, but not so quickly. Let's go ahead and start Debaser. Here we go. Okay, oh, all right. Now that we've taken the first two tracks in, like I said, I don't exactly recall what I said initially years ago when I listened to Debaser, but yes, it's hitting just fine right now. It's hitting just right. Okay, Black Francis, who's handling vocals, rhythm guitar, and some acoustic guitar, his outrageous outbursts and outcries, his screams, his animalistic breathing and sounds that we hear in Tame, all of it is just so like raw and unapologetic and just so true to whatever personality, character, music, art form he's putting himself into. I love that. I love that a lot, especially when he's yelling Tame in Tame, and then in Debaser when he's yelling Debaser. I mean, like, it's just so unfiltered. That is good. That's really good. But I have to really lay it in to the drumming. David Lovering on the drums in Debaser, that fast roly-poly pattern that he gets into there, just rolling it all out. That's great. And then moving into Tame, which definitely slows things down and opens up with a little bit more sultry, a little bit more of like that sultry drum and bass pattern. The bass, bum, 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 just kind of numbingly leading you down the alley, holding you by your hand down to the back room. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's what I'm hearing with the bass. The bass is pulling me to the back room. Bass going to be played by Kim Deal. Now, I'm assuming that Kim is probably the one who's also doing the breathing back and forth with Mr. Black Francis there in the back half of Tame. But just great performance there. I got to tell you, you guys can't see this because you just see me right here in frame. But on the other side of the camera, my wife's vanity is over there, and my cat is just like being like overly attentive to everything. My cat never like walks around the room, but now she's deciding to take a tour. So it's just kind of funny. Anyways, let's get into these lyrics, huh? Why don't we? Let's dive into Debaser first briefly, and then we'll go back into Tame right after that. Let me get to that really quick. Got a movie I want you to know, slicing up eyeballs I want you to know. Girly so groovy I want you to know, don't know about you, but I'm un chien Andalusia, which means an Andalusian dog. Okay, so want to grow up to be a debaser. Now I don't remember what it's about, so I'm just going to go directly into the Wikipedia page for this one. The lyrics are based on a surrealist film by Luis Buñuel and Salvador Dali called Un Chien Andalou. The film includes a scene in which a woman's eye is slit by a razor, which I do believe is a very famous scene. Like, even if you don't know the movie, I'm pretty sure even I've seen that scene of like the eyeball being sliced. And then the title Debaser references the fact that Un Chien Andalou debases morality and standards of art, according to Black Francis. In the earliest version of the song, that line was originally Shed Apollonia, a reference to a scene in the Prince film Purple Rain. Wasn't Apollonia also the name of... what's his name? In The Godfather, his bride-to-be. Did they get married? I can't remember. But she got blown up. Car bomb. If I remember correctly, I think her name was Apollonia. Anyways, let's move on to the lyrics here for Tame. Got hips like Cinderella. Must be having a good shame. Talking sweet about nothing, cookie. I think you're tame. I'm making good friends with you when you're shaking your good frame. Fall on your face in those bad shoes. Lying there like you're tame. And then it goes on from there. Like I said, leading to the back room. That's at least what I see. I think he's seeing her, and perhaps she looks tame, but how do I put this? When they are led into the back room, the tame becomes the untamed. Let's go ahead and move on to the next track here, which is going to be Wave of Mutilation. And will I let it go into the next one? The songs are just so short, it's like I might as well just kind of let some of them run together. Let's go ahead and do that. This is so ahead of its time, like musically.
Drive my car into the ocean. Wave off mutilation. Wave off mutilation.
This is so cool. This is such a great sound they have here. Get a breakdown? This was a really influential album, right? Like, you can tell. What year did I say this was released? 1980. Hold on, I gotta get back there. 89. So this is like right before grunge kind of broke out, right? Like, you can hear the influence. You can hear how this sound clear. Where's the band from? I'm actually curious. Where's the band from? Where's the Pixies from? Boston, Massachusetts. Okay, so I don't know. I was feeling Seattle maybe, but all right, so one thing I haven't mentioned, I haven't talked about, is the guitar, the lead guitar, I should say. That's going to be Joey Santiago on lead guitar and backing vocals. The tone that he's coming up with, of course, alongside Francis' rhythm guitar, is just dripped in that distortion. I love how just, if you listen to, okay, grunge and like early alternative rock and that kind of sound, and here, of course, you hear that, you know, when they play their distorted guitars, a lot of times, you know, they'll chug it and stuff, but they also allow the note and that distortion to just ring out and just kind of send out those emotional waves. And on both of these tracks, and I'm sure, not previously, but coming up as well, you're going to get more of that sound. Because those waves of distortion, the band is pretty much just surfing on those, and they allow a certain emotion to kind of be captured. And when I think about that sound and the vocals and the style, I kind of get that numb suburban kind of sick of the sick of the norm, sick of what's the word? The C word, that conformity. Like sick of the usual and trying to get outside of that. And that's what I'm hearing when I'm listening to the music. And in I Bleed specifically, I really enjoy Kim and Black Francis, their back and forth there. I like how he kind of continues on in a certain way, and then she just repeats like a very melodic, kind of whispery, oh, and the rest of the lyrics there. And he's just kind of not at all trying to harmonize, not at all trying to duet or anything like that. He's kind of going off of his own lane. And I just really like the dynamic that they have between them in that particular mode. And in the beginning of I Bleed, it was a really interesting way that they came in, not just those two, but instrumentally as well, especially with the drums. Kind of, not an awkward way of coming in, but an unusual way of coming in that I think kind of adds to the mystique, perhaps, of the music. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Let's get into these lyrics, though. Going back to Wave of Mutilation. Cease to resist, given my goodbye. Drive my car into the ocean. You think I'm dead, but I sail away. On a wave of mutilation, wave of mutilation. I've kissed mermaids, rode the El Nino, walked the sand with the crustaceans. Could find my way to Mariana. On a wave of mutilation, which we actually, inside the book, I was looking at it while during the first track, there's a crab in there. So, clear reference. So, I kind of think of this track as seeks to resist, given my goodbye, drive my car to mutilation, but all right. So, figuratively, he's removed himself from a place, a situation, and everyone else has forgotten about him, but he's moved on. He's had his own life. He has his own journey. He's seen a lot of sights. He's done a lot of things, and he's doing just fine on this wave of mutilation. So maybe it's not all perfect, but he is doing quite fine. It says here, because I'm completely wrong, the song was inspired by Black reading about Japanese businessmen who would commit suicide by driving their cars off a cliff and into the ocean. Huh. Would have never thought. Moving on to the lyrics for I Bleed. As loud as hell a ringing bell. Behind my smile it shakes my teeth. And all the while as vampires feed. I bleed, I bleed. Prithee, my dear, why are we here? Nobody knows we go to sleep. As breathing flows, my mind secedes. I bleed. There's a place in the buried west, in a cave with a house in it. In the clay, the holes of hands, you can place a hand in hand. I bleed. Well, I think of bleed not as in hurt or harm, but I'm thinking like bleeding into something. Kind of what he's saying here, like a harmonizing, a coming together, bleeding into one another. That's at least what I think. Looking at this one, it says that Blancis told Esquire. Blancis? Did I say Blancis? Black Francis told Esquire. This could be categorized as one of my archaeological songs, references to free European conquest, the Indian peoples of the Southwest, specifically Arizona, where I had studied briefly before I dropped out of college. Lots of bones and teeth and footprints and stories from the past, all kind of mixed up in a minute and a half of music. It's hard to say what something is about when you're thinking about something that is very large. Maybe multiple topics that are loosely related. And then you try to write a little pop ditty and you're boiling it down to a handful of words. Not only are they supposed to rhyme, they're supposed to represent all these things that you've been thinking about, and you end up with this highly abstracted thing. You know what I like? I like how self-aware he is regarding his writing and regarding the lyrics. Like, he has these big ideas, he has these big ideas, and he's trying to boil them down into lyrics for, like you said, a small track like this. How do you do that? It's difficult. Quite difficult, I would say. Let's go ahead and move on into the next track here, which is Here Comes Your Man. It's getting a little dark outside, so I'm just going to close the blinds really quick, as I just don't want people looking into the room unnecessarily. Anyways, next track. Well, here we go. What a different side of the band that was to hear. That is cool. That's a great track. This is Dead, by the way. The two guitars going. This is this is seriously a good album. This is kind of, this is exceeding my expectations. Let me put it like that, right? Only song I knew was Debaser, which I get it, yeah. But I just I wasn't expecting this direction from that specific song. This is really, really good. Here Comes Your Man kind of softens things up a little bit, kind of flows into a more almost radio friendly esque like alternate rock direction. I love how it lightens things up though. The band has a great balance of shade and light and dark and light. I mean, really in these last two tracks, listening to Dead, that frenzied guitar with Francis going screaming dead, dead, and whatever he's talking about there. But like the heaviness of it, the way it kind of oblongly gets into the music, like that is really cool on the dark side. Then coming back to the light side with Here Comes Your Man, once again, Francis really lightens his voice up there. The guitars lighten their way up. I mean, specifically with that fun riff that is strewn throughout the music, that is a great time. And then Kim, of course, with her background vocals, like they just have, you know what they remind me of, and I could be wrong. Just listening to this, and it's not like I'm familiar with either of these bands in totality. I'm just basing this off of what I know. It reminds me of The Clash in the sense that, yeah, they have a specific sound to them, but not only are they not afraid to work out of that sound and explore different avenues, but they excel at exploring those different avenues. They're driving down all these roads and everyone's waving at them on the way. Let's get into some of these lyrics here. First, let's work our way back to Here Comes Your Man. Outside, there's a boxcar waiting. Outside, the family stew. Out by the fire breathing. Outside, we wait till face turns blue. I know the nervous walking. I know the dirty beard hangs. Out by the boxcar waiting. Take me away to nowhere plains. Well, the song's called Here Comes Your Man, so maybe you're talking to someone and they're taken. Well, here comes that man. He's going to make you disappear. There is a wait so long, you'll never wait so long. Here comes your man. Big shake on the boxcar moving. Big shake to the land that's fallen down. Is a wind makes a palm stop blowing. A big, big stone fall and break my crown. And he repeats the lyrics from there. Now I don't know what this one's about. Don't know what this one's about. Let's see if we can figure it out. Let's see if we can find out what this one here may be about. It says the group referred to this song as the Tom Petty song. Producer Gary Smith stated that there was some reluctance to do this track because it was too pop. There was something too straight about it. Which, yeah, it's clearly, like I said, it really does sound like a more straightforward radio-friendly track. It says it was intentionally left out of their debut album, Come On Pilgrim. Watts Russell stated that he liked the song, but it felt just too obviously commercial, and I didn't know what we were going to do with it, and what we were going to do with the band, apparently. Francis said that during the recording of the album, he felt embarrassed by this track, but Gil Norton really liked the song, and the songwriter threw him a bone. I really like the relationship between artist and producer. That's cool. And I don't see anything about the actual lyrics on here. The word boxcar was apparently a starting point for the song's lyrics, and Francis has suggested that this was in part inspired by the song Carnival of Sorts by REM, which I'm not really familiar with them. I probably liked the word boxcar because I heard it on the REM song from their first record. Not familiar. So I'm still in the dark on what it's about, but let's move on into the lyrics for the next track here, and that is Dead, which I'm not completely in the dark about. You crazy babe Bathsheba, I want ya. I want ya, and I gotta have ya. You're suffocating, you need a good shed. I'm tired of living sheep, so give me dead. All right, so Bathsheba, I don't know his name, but King David cheated. Well, he was with Bathsheba because he saw her taking a bath, had her husband killed so that he could kind of cover it up. That whole story. It's a very like Bravo-esque kind of story. Where aping, raping, taping, catharsis, you get torn down and I get erected. My blood is working, but my heart is dead. Hey, what do you know? Your lovely tan belly is starting to grow. Uriah hit the crapper, dead. Okay, well, I guess his name was Uriah. Okay. So it's literally the story of David and Bathsheba, from what I can tell. I mean, she gets pregnant, your lovely tan belly is starting to grow. Uriah, who I'm assuming was Bathsheba's husband, was put on the front lines to die, and he did. So he's dead. So not only is he saying like his heart is dead, like David / Black Francis, but of course the dead the death of Bathsheba's husband, and then I guess perhaps even the death of their morality since they cheated with each other, kind of thing. I don't know. That's what I'm kind of getting out of it. Let's move on into the next track here, which is going to be Monkey Gone Heaven, which I have to imagine. I gotta imagine that's the album cover. Let's go.
There was a guy. This Monday's gone to heaven. This Monday's gone to heaven. There's a hole in the sky. This Monday's gone to heaven.
The monkey has gone to heaven. If you saw me hit my hat, you didn't see that. Listen, this goes right back to that more melodic path. I love that. And how unexpected the addition of some strings, some violins and such brought in to just push it that much further ahead. I love the riff that keeps on coming back. First, only with the bass, you hear that in the beginning as it's a little bit more isolated. But then, of course, as the guitar, the rest of the band comes in, the bum, 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 gone to heaven. So catchy. Love their harmonizing on the back end of that. Once again, just awashed in the drift of distortion as well. This is so cool. Like, I know I keep saying it. I'm sorry. I keep on saying the same things, but this is, I'm actually much more impressed by this album than I thought I would be. Not that I had small expectations for it, but like I said, they're just being blown away and dismantled little by little. This is really good. There was a god, an underwater god, who controlled the sea. Got killed by 10 million pounds of sludge from New York to New Jersey. This monkey's gone to heaven, this monkey's gone to heaven. The creature in the sky got sucked in a hole. Now there's a hole in the sky and the ground's not cold. And if the ground's not cold, everything is going to burn. We'll all take turns. I'll get mine too. The monkey's gone to heaven. I kind of feel like this is like an environmental message, right? Like a hole in the ozone layer, pollution in the water. Like this monkey's gone to heaven, this monkey being mankind, and like killing ourselves, basically. If man is 5, then the devil is 6. If devil is 6, then God is 7. Then this monkey's gone to heaven. So like I'm pretty sure that's kind of like on a totem pole kind of scale. Like man is down here, the devil's just a little bit above, but above that is God. Like I think that's kind of the power ranking we're kind of diving into, and perhaps that's the only hope, basically. Black Francis says, this belongs in the mythological category. I'm less concerned with making sense than making the lyrics pop out of the speaker when people are listening to the music. Some of it's obvious to understand, but then if man is 5, the devil's 6, and God is 7, and guess what? That rhymes with monkey gone to heaven. And it's all a little bit of a mixture of saying things that are real and relevant with a lot of Alice in Wonderland, jibber jabber and gobbledygook. This is a surreal work. I'm a surrealist. Songs can't just be 1 + 2 equal, or 1 + 1 = 2, you know? 1 + 1 = bran muffin. And bran muffin plus apple = 1. You didn't... I know where he's going with this. That's a really good track, though. That's good. And it even says that... Did this one chart, actually? It says that this was a successful single. The band signed to Elektra Records at the end of 1988. So this single was the first major label release, then the first American release. It was critically received. But I don't see it. I don't see like a chart position or anything on that here. I'm just trying to see if I find anything. Doesn't look like... Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it. The single reached number 5 on the U.S. modern rock tracks with the help of Elektra Records. In the UK, it spent 3 weeks on the UK chart, debuting at number 60. Okay, so it did get some gas then. All right, let's move on into the next track here. Actually, let's go ahead and take the next 2, since they're only about 2 minutes and then 1:30. And that's going to be Mr. Grieves and then Crackity Jones, which sounds really funny. Let's go ahead and get into it. Are we moving into another style again? Are we in ska territory? Are you kidding me? Into this swing over here? When did we move into ska? Okay. Give me like 1 second. I wasn't expecting when I had mentioned earlier that the band is going into all these different styles, going down all these different roads. I didn't expect them to now take another turn into a completely different road. First of all, don't think I didn't catch that continuity with Mr. Grieves coming off of Monkey with the whole, old water god, and then, we'll talk about that. But am I wrong? Like, did they basically just move into ska now? The only thing that Mr. Grieves was missing was a few horns, a few trumpet blasts, and then same thing with Crackity Jones. This is two-stepping. This is that two-step. What's going on here? This is man. Drumming was insane. Love that. When it started off with Grieves, I heard that riff and I was like, okay, that's like a reggae riff. And I was like, are we doing that? And then they slowly kind of changed the music. They kind of made their own way and then paved the road for them to just sail through. And they did a great job there. And then here with oh my god, I'm already forgetting, Crackity Jones, they start you soft and then they get really hard, really quick, and they get fast with it. That's a like that's that tube. Ooh, I was not expecting that at all. That's just really cool. That's really cool. I'm impressed. Let's get into the lyrics here on Grieves here. Hope everything is all right. Hope everything is all right. What's that floating in the water? Old Neptune's only daughter. See, like right there, the water again, the sludge from Monkey going to heaven, from Monkey gone to heaven, and the old god in the water and everything. I'm catching you. I believe in Mr. Grieves. Pray for a man in the middle, one that talks like Doolittle. I believe in Mr. Grieves. Do you have another opinion? Get bombed, got frozen, got finally off to finally dozing. I believe in Mr. Grieves. So the question is, who is Mr. Grieves? You can cry, you can mope, but can you swing from a good rope? I believe in Mr. Grieves. I mean, I think it's about death in some capacity, or the ending of something. One that talks like Doolittle. I believe in Mr. Grieves. Like one that can talk to the animals, basically. I don't know. Let's see what they're saying. Let's see what Francis is saying here. I would say that this is the same as Monkey Gone to Heaven. It's ecological, but it's in the spirit or category of mythology. Maybe not a specific one, but I do mention Neptune's daughter. There's a loose reference there. It's kind of end-of-the-world nuclear reference in a science fiction almost way. You know what I like about him? I like how he doesn't 100% explain what he's talking about. He gives you a little bit of a framework, and then it's up to us, the listener, to kind of feel the rest of our way throughout that framework. Crackity Jones. Jose Jones told me alone his story. He got friends like Paco Pico Piedra, La Muñeca he receives on his set. Crackity Jones. Please forgive me, Jose Jones. You need these walls for your own. I'm moving out of this hospital. I'm afraid you'll cut me, boy. 30 miles by, 100 miles by Stinking Island. Por confiar and crushing automobile. Crashing or chasing voices he receives in his head. Is Crackity Jones he's crazy, he's cracked? I think that this guy's cracked. He's got friends like, I don't know who Paco Pico Piedra is. Let's see. It says that is the singer's translation of Fred Flintstone. One of the many Spanish language errors in the lyrics. The actual name is Pedro Pico Piedra. Perhaps the mistake is intentional, as the alliteration makes Paco Pico Piedra sounds better. Apparently his roommate was obsessed with the Flintstones. Okay, so is this about his roommate perhaps going crazy? That's at least what I'm thinking. Hearing voices in his head, he says, I gotta get away from you. Francis says, I like how there's something about that Francis tells us about each of these tracks here so far. Francis says it's a personal history song about an old college roommate of mine. I think I have a lot more patience and understanding about mental health issues now, as a middle-aged man, but when you're young and you run into that, especially when it's intimate like you're living with someone, it can freak you out. I think now I would have a more nurturing attitude about it. I love someone that can look back on past views, past actions, and look back and find change from that. That's cool. I like that a lot. Let's go ahead and move on from Crackity Jones into the next track here, which is going to be La 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 means I love you. Oh, that's a good track, but that's not the one we're listening to. La La Love You. Let's go. Definitely not the same track. The guitar lead is so sweet and romantic. All he's saying is, I love you. That is so... That's like a cute styled song. Like, it's just kind of repeating, baby, I love you. Listen, that's where everything comes down to and boils down to lyrically on this track. Baby, I love you. But the style. So one thing I noticed is that the singing is taken care of by someone completely different. That's going to be David Lovering on the drums. So he has a really nice voice. He sounds so suave here. Not to the effect of the singer I'm going to mention, so don't take it that way. But his vocals, the way he's singing, the suaveness, that kind of sad romance or forlorn romance reminds me a little bit of Roxy Music, a little bit of, why did I just forget his name? I had it because I was just about to say it. Brian Ferry, thank you. It reminds me a little bit of that kind of sound, right? He sounds really nice. Maybe that's his range, but I think it works quite well for him. And then I love the whistling, and then how the guitar line would kind of like echo back, and then just a lot of little playfulness in here, going back and forth. It was very flirtatious. I think that's actually the best way to describe this particular track. And I love the butt shaking at the beginning there. All I'm saying, pretty baby, la la love you. Don't mean maybe. All I'm saying, pretty baby. First base, second base, third base, home run. I love you, and it repeats from there. That's all there is to this song. There's not even much to this one. Just a flirtatious little fling. There you go. Let's move on into the next one here, which is number 13, Baby. If you're on baby number 13, I don't know. That's a lot. Let's go. Do you think Deftones were influenced by Pixies? You know what kind of track number 13 Baby is? Number 13 Baby is a road track. This is a cool track that you put on when you're on the ride. You're in your car, you're driving down the road, the weather is feeling nice, the sun's coming down, you want your hair to be blowing in the wind a little bit. I feel you roll your windows down. You maybe don't roll them down all the way, but you go probably halfway down and you're feeling pretty good. Sunroof even? If it's your preference. I never opened my sunroof. That's a track that I think perfectly kind of captures what I had mentioned earlier in the album review, in that it hits that shade of light and darkness in a sense. Because it has those heavy moments, definitely for sure. But at the same time, a lot of it, if not most of it, is actually much more atmospheric, especially because of the guitar work in there. And I love the snappiness of the drums. Duh, you heard it. You heard those hot grooves popping off the plate. Come on. Like, those are really, really nice. And of course, Francis sounds great as well. But I like how in the back half, he allows the music to just kind of wash, drift, and play to its own self. And I mentioned it during, but do you think that Deftones were influenced in any way by Pixies? Because I'm hearing a little bit of maybe where Deftones got a little bit of their sound. I don't know, maybe I'm reaching, I don't know. I think it just has a hot neighbor. Got hair in a girl that flows to her bones, and a comb in her pocket if the wind gets blown. Stripes on her eye when she walks slow, but her face fall down when she go, go, go. Black tear falling on my lazy queen. Got a tattooed thing. That's say number 13. Breast. Viva don't want no blue eyes. La Loma, I want brown eyes. Rika, I'm in a state. Choir in the yard in the house next door, where a grandma brought some songs from the shore. 6-foot girl gonna sweat when she dig. Stand close to the fire when they light up the pig. Honestly, I think this track is just a Latin family. There's a fly. A Latin family moved in next door. He's singing all the traditions, all the things that they brought home. You know, of course, we did the same thing when we were in Colombia. Last year, 2 years ago? I don't know. Lit up a pig, right? We lit up a pig and had a big party. We had a mariachi band come out. Like, I think he's just seen all these things going on, and like I said, he's finding himself in a state of attraction to his newfound neighbor. That's at least what I'm getting out of it here. Let's move on into the next track here, which is going to be, hold on, let me pull it up. That's going to be There Goes My Gun, which will lead into Hey, because it's only about 2 minutes. So let's go ahead and do that. There Goes My Gun. Where'd I put it? Don't know. There Goes My Gun, honestly, I thought it was fine, but it didn't like capture me. But it was fine within this album list. And like it was just like a good track, okay, but it didn't really hit me the same way like a lot of the other ones did, right? Still great musicianship, great sound, whatever. Hey, hey, which is how he started off the track. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He digs deep in this one. Says, hey, we're chained. We're meant to be together. Ignore all these other things. Listen, we've had our ups, we've had our downs, we've had our very downs. But we are chained together, chained by fates, destined to be connected by the stars. And the forlorn romantic vibe here given in the music is so sensational. You know that I love how the drums and bass came in, but I have to kind of give it again to the guitar work from both of them actually in here, because you clearly hear the rhythm and the lead here. And especially the lead, but I would say overall really their combination produces this sound of just painful cries, romance that is just broken in many ways, a piece of torment in there, some suffering. You can hear all of that in the guitar, but still reaching, still clawing, still trying to reconnect, to find what may be love or may not be. But whatever it is, there is connection there. Just the way that the band put that all together in this really, really nicely emotional package, especially with that magical guitar work, is sensational. And once again, I love how the rhythm section came in drums and bass wise. That is good. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Outcast. Let's get into some of these lyrics here really quick. There goes my gun. There goes my gun. There goes my gun. Look at me. Look at me. There goes my gun. There goes my gun. Friend or foe. There goes my gun. If you... Someone knocks at the door, I guess maybe he grabbed his gun and said, who are you, friend or foe? Because I got some heat waiting for you. It says here, Black Francis says the song is a scene. The actor is shouting across some expanse of space. Yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo. Obviously, it's a space that contains potential danger. And there goes my gun is the result. Okay. Well, there you go. There's that's what it's... Let's move into hey. Let's move into that one, huh? Hey, been trying to meet you. Hey, must be a devil between us. Or whores in my head, whores at the door, whore in my bed. But hey, where have you been? If you go, I will surely die. I like how he starts off with in his head, then at his door, then in his bed, and then he quickly throws that away and says, well, no, forget about that. Where have you been? How have you been? What's going on between us? He really quickly, we're chained. Said the man to the lady. Said the lady to the man she adored. And the whores like a choir go, all night. And Mary, ain't you tired of this? Is the sound that the mother makes when the baby breaks. We're chained. He's in some respect admitting his faults, perhaps, but I don't think you're really chained. I think maybe you're just hung up a little bit. I don't know. It says, this is Francis again. He says, I suppose it's a relationship song. It's not really my own history, but distilled or culled from ancient stories of my parents from when we were younger. Things I heard or rumors, loosely based on that kind of stuff. Okay. Let's move on into the final two tracks, my friends. Let's move on into the next one, Silver, and then we'll let it take us away with Gouge Away coming in right after. Let's go ahead and let the two tracks go. Here we go. Is Kim singing this? It's like a Western track? What a cool Western-esque track. Like, once again, the diversity.
Gouge away.
That's such a quick flare up and then back down. And just like that, guys, Doolittle is over. Complete album listen. But let's back up to Silver really quick. Silver, once again, takes a completely different turn. This time, a turn towards the west, towards the sunset. And, like, it is so Western. That is so cool. And then you have Kim performing the lead vocals there. Really, really nice. Still keeping in a few of those nuances from Pixies. You hear some scratchy guitar, like scratching up and down the frets, perhaps in the back at certain points. I like the little bit of percussion there in the back as well. That's like just a really cool, once again, diversion, especially this late in the game of the album. And then moving into Gouge Away, this kind of brings it back to what we're kind of familiar with, but with a nice, solid, almost post-punkish bass line. Great vocals once again. That flare up when the music comes up and they get bam, 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 and then comes back down. and the really, really nice guitar work throughout. This is a fun album to listen to. These were two great tracks to finish it out on, but this was such a good album. Let's get into the lyrics here on Silver, huh? In this land of strangers, there are dangers, there are sorrows. I can't see this lady, it is shady. I'm leaving tomorrow. Even there's a reason, it's silver, it's gone. In this land of strangers, there are dangers, there are sorrows. In this land of strangers. So, finding themselves in an uncomfortable and unfamiliar place, there probably is something worth staying for, but for some reason they can't stay. I don't know. Black Francis said that this is the only composition that he did with Kim on this session. I think we worked on it a couple of times the previous year. I don't know what it means to her, and I don't know what it means to me. The lyrics are all very vague and vaguely folk sounding. You can almost hear it's like a faux folk song. Faux folk song. It's definitely an abstraction. At least that's my interpretation of it. It was all about creating a mood, I think. And a mood indeed. They definitely created in there. And then looking into the final track, Gouge Away. Gouge away, you can gouge away. Stay all day if you want to. Missy aggravation, some sacred questions. You stroke my locks, some marijuana if you got some. Gouge away, you can gouge away. Stay all day if you want to. Like, you can do this to me as long as you're near. This relationship might be not the greatest, might be hurting me, but I'll take it as long as you're here, kind of in a sense. Sleeping on your belly, you break my arms. You spoon my eyes, been rubbing a bad charm with holy fingers. Gouge away, gouge away. Chained to the pillars, a 3-day party. I break the walls and kill us all with holy fingers. Like, I was getting bad relationship, but it went really bad at the end. Let's see. Black Francis says that he thinks that this is the best song on the album. He says it's a story about Samson and Delilah. Oh, you're the first person that's actually realized. Oh, because the eyes, the walls, the pillars. Okay. All right. And Delilah shows up as a secret spy of the Philistines and has an affair with Samson. I don't know what he was getting out of it, but enough sex and drugs and relaxation to give up his secrets. Maybe he loved her, I don't know, but they gouge his eyes out in the end. Okay. Well, that makes so much more sense reading it straight from him, and I can see what he's saying. Because of the eye thing. All right, anyways, Doolittle was a really, really fantastic album. This was so much better than I expected, and once again, I don't mean that in a put-down way. It's just like, all right, knowing Debaser and hearing that, I was kind of expecting that sound completely throughout the whole album. And it's not. And now, I enjoyed Debaser, but this album is so much more than just that track. That is so, so good. Favorite tracks on the album? I think I might lean towards Monkey Gone to Heaven. Here Comes Your Man and Monkey Gone to Heaven might be my favorite tracks. But don't quote me on that, because I will say that the middle section and the back half of this album is really strong. So I also really liked Hey. So I'm gonna stick with those for now. Here Comes Your Man, Monkey Gone to Heaven, and then Hey. And in no particular order. I'm just pulling them out of the bucket. But I want to know what's in your bucket. What are you pulling out of there? Let me know your favorite. I was trying to think of a segue. Let me know your favorite tracks on the album. As always, I appreciate you listening to the album with me, spending some time with me. You didn't have to, because it's a chunk of time. You had to gouge away some time, but you did so with the ice cream scooper, and I appreciate you serving me up some of that vanilla swirl with the cherry on top. Let me know your favorite thoughts or your favorite songs in the comments down below. Please press the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like, you can also sign up and support what I do on Patreon for as little as $2 a month. You don't have to, but it's just an option there in case you want to. And otherwise, please enjoy the rest of your day. Hope that you come back tomorrow. And I'll see you guys then. Bye.